You feel it, don't you? Something has shifted, even if only slightly. The air around you feels lighter, like the invisible chains holding you in this cycle are finally starting to loosen. The signs are appearing, subtle, but growing clearer by the day. Maybe you haven't fully realized it yet, but the separation between you and your twin flame is almost over. There are days when you wake up with a strange feeling, like something's about to happen. You can't quite explain it, but the distance between you two doesn't feel as heavy anymore. It's like the universe is rearranging everything, quietly setting the stage for a new encounter. Thoughts of him hit you more intensely, and out of nowhere, you might be distracted doing something simple when suddenly you feel his presence, like he's right there with you. It's not your imagination. It's one of the most powerful signs that the separation is about to end. You start noticing synchronicities in almost ridiculous ways. Repeating numbers, songs that speak exactly to what you're going through, random conversations with people that touch on themes from your spiritual journey. These aren't just coincidences. They're clear messages that the distance is nearing its end. That heavy weight you used to carry feels lighter now, doesn't it? That constant ache, the silent pain that followed you through lonely days and nights, is now giving way to a new sense of peace. You still miss him, but there's no longer that desperation. That happens when the healing between twin flames is nearly complete. If before you felt an almost uncontrollable urge to reach out to him, now there's peace in simply letting time do its thing. It's not indifference, it's spiritual maturity. Your soul understands, even without words, that the reunion is close, and so there's no longer a need to force anything. Dreams with him have become more frequent and intense, like in the astral plane. You're already preparing for this return. In some of these dream encounters, he might not say a word, but his look, his touch, or just his presence tells you everything you need to know. The time of separation is ending. You feel stronger now. The separation has transformed you, shaped you, helped you grow in ways you never imagined. What once felt like a curse, you now begin to see as a hidden blessing. And it's that very growth that creates the space for true union. Interestingly, the signs don't just come through emotions or thoughts, but through your body too. Maybe you've noticed changes in your sleep, random chills, or strange energy pulsing in your chest. Your soul and your body know. The separation is ending, and they're getting ready for what's coming. He feels it too. Even if he doesn't say it, even if he seems distant or indifferent, your twin flame is feeling the same nudges, the same signs. The connection between you two never broke. It just went quiet, waiting for the right moment to bloom again, stronger and purer. You're starting to reconnect with your true self. Things you've forgotten or pushed aside to please others, to fit in, are coming back with full force. That authenticity is the fuel that brings soulmates closer. The reunion requires this whole, real version of you. The fear that once paralyzed you is starting to fade. You no longer fear losing him, because you now understand that what's real never gets lost. The love between twin flames isn't fragile. It doesn't depend on physical presence or empty promises. It just is, and always will be. Can you feel how much more intuitive you are now? How you're starting to trust your feelings more than cold logic? That's also a clear sign that the separation is dissolving. The mind steps back and the soul takes the lead, gently guiding you toward the inevitable reunion. Lately, you might feel drawn to revisit memories, places, or objects that are part of your story. That's not pointless nostalgia. It's the energy of the past being redefined, making space for the new chapter that's about to begin. Some people around you might notice you've changed, brighter, more confident, maybe even a little mysterious. They don't know it. But you carry within you the flame of a love that survived distance, time, fear, and is now about to fully show itself. The obstacles that once seemed impossible are now, surprisingly, starting to unravel or lose importance. Situations that used to keep you apart, whether external or internal, are beginning to dissolve, as if a higher force is undoing each knot, one by one. You realize that even without him by your side, you no longer feel that soul-crushing emptiness. It's like you've finally become whole within yourself. And it's exactly that wholeness that draws back what was once far away. Because whole souls don't reunite to complete each other, but to overflow. At this point in the journey, you might feel a mix of anxiety and peace. Anxious because you know the reunion is near. Peaceful because you trust that everything will happen at the perfect time, without you needing to chase or force anything. And then, suddenly you realize there's nothing more you need to do. Just be. Just allow the universe to keep orchestrating this perfect ending. Every tear, every moment of waiting, every doubt. It was all part of a bigger plan. And now, that plan is coming together. But I know, deep down, you still wonder if all this is just in your head. If these signs showing up are just coincidences or wishful thinking. You feel it, don't you? Something's shifted, even if just slightly. The air around you feels lighter, like the invisible chains that kept you stuck in this cycle are finally starting to loosen. The signs are showing up, subtle, but clearer by the day. Maybe you haven't realized it yet, but the separation between you and your twin flame is nearly over. There are days when you wake up with a strange sense of knowing, a feeling that something's about to happen. You can't explain it, but it's like the distance between you two no longer carries the same weight. It's as if the universe is rearranging everything, quietly setting the stage for a new meeting. His thoughts come to you more intensely and out of nowhere. You might be doing something simple, totally distracted, when suddenly you feel his presence, as if he's right there beside you. That's not just your imagination. It's one of the most powerful signs that the separation is coming to an end. You're starting to notice synchronicities in almost unbelievable ways. Repeating numbers, songs that describe exactly what you're going through, random conversations with people touching on topics tied to your spiritual journey. These aren't coincidences. They're clear messages that the end of the distance is near. That heavy feeling you've been carrying seems to have lightened, hasn't it? That constant ache. The quiet pain that followed you through lonely days and nights is being replaced by a new kind of peace. You still miss him, but there's no longer desperation. That's what happens when twin flames are almost fully healed, where you once felt an overwhelming need to reach out to him. Now there's peace in just letting time do its thing. That's not indifference. It's spiritual maturity. Your soul knows, even without words, that the reunion is close. So there's no need to force anything anymore. The dreams with him have become more frequent and vivid, as if, on a soul level, the two of you are already preparing for your return. In some of these dream encounters, maybe he doesn't say a word, but his look, his touch, or just his presence tells you everything you need to know. The time apart is almost over. You feel stronger now. The separation has transformed you, shaped you, made you grow in ways you never imagined. What once felt like a curse, you now see as a blessing in disguise. And that growth is exactly what creates the space for real union. Interestingly, the signs aren't just emotional or mental. They're showing up in your body too. Maybe your sleep patterns have changed, or you're getting chills for no reason, or feeling a different energy pulsing in your chest. Your body and soul know the separation is ending, and they're getting ready for what's coming. He's feeling it too, even if he doesn't say anything. Even if he seems distant or detached, your twin flame is picking up on the same signals. The connection between you two never broke. It simply went quiet, waiting for the right moment to blossom again, stronger and purer. You're beginning to reconnect with your true self. The parts of you that you had forgotten or set aside to please others, to fit in, are coming back with full force. That authenticity is the fuel that draws twin souls back together. The reunion requires this fuller, truer version of you. The fear that used to paralyze you is fading. You're no longer afraid of losing him, because you've come to understand that what's real can never be lost. Twin flame love isn't fragile. It doesn't rely on physical presence or empty promises. It just is, and it always will be. Do you notice how much more intuitive you've become? How you're trusting your feelings more and cold logic less? That's another clear sign that the separation is dissolving. The mind loses its grip, and the soul steps in to guide you gently toward the inevitable reunion. Lately, you might feel drawn to revisit memories, places, or objects tied to your story together. That's not random nostalgia. It's energy from the past being reprocessed and redefined, making space for the new chapter that's about to begin. People around you may have noticed that something's different. Maybe you seem more radiant, more confident, even a bit mysterious. They don't know it, But you're carrying inside you the fire of a love that has survived time, distance, and fear, and that is now about to fully unfold. Those once impossible obstacles are starting to shift. Some resolving on their own, others just no longer matching. The situations that once kept you apart, inside or outside, are fading away, as if some greater force is untying every knot, one by one. You realize that even without him physically present, you no longer feel that deep emptiness. It's like you've finally become whole within yourself. And that wholeness is exactly what calls back what's been missing. Because whole souls don't reunite to complete one another, but to overflow together. At this stage of the journey, you may feel a strange mix of anxiety and calm. Anxiety because you know the reunion is near, and calm because you trust that everything will happen exactly when it's meant to. No chasing, no forcing. And then suddenly you realize there's nothing left to do. Just be. Just allow the universe to keep orchestrating this perfect ending. Every tear, every weight, every doubt. It was all part of a greater plan. And now, that plan is coming to life. But I know, deep down, you still wonder if it's all just in your head. If these signs showing up are just coincidences or wishes disguised as omens. But I want you to listen closely. When the separation is almost over, doubt is the final wall to break through. Notice how lately you've been having moments of deep connection with yourself. Like you're discovering parts of you that were always there just asleep. That's no accident. Every layer you peel back brings you closer to this inevitable reunion. There's something in the air you can't quite name, but you feel it. A quiet restlessness, a sense of anticipation that makes you look toward the horizon, like someone or something is about to show up. That's the energy right before the shift, when the invisible starts to take shape. Your dreams may have started to change, becoming less confusing and more revealing. Maybe you can't recall all the details when you wake, but the feeling lingers like a persistent echo, reminding you that encounters are happening on other planes. Do you see how much more sensitive you are to signs around you? A scent that pulls you back to a memory with him. A word someone says without knowing that stirs a forgotten emotion. That's how the soul prepares you gently for the moment of return. Time seems to be flowing differently now. Some days fly by, others drag endlessly, depending on how you feel. It's like the universe is showing you that human time is not the same as spiritual time, and that the right moment is coming with divine precision. You might have started noticing shifts in other areas of your life too. Sudden changes, unexpected opportunities, chance encounters opening new doors. It's all connected, even if you can't yet see the full picture. There's an invisible thread tying you to him, and it's pulsing stronger every day. Even if you're not speaking, even if the distance is wide, there's a force no logic can explain, and it's vibrating powerfully, calling for the end of the separation. Your intuition has been guiding you more steadily, even if you still doubt it sometimes. But look, every time you follow that inner voice, something aligned, something became clearer. That quiet wisdom is the lighthouse leading you to him. The tests may have gotten tougher lately. People from the past returning. Doubts you thought you buried resurfacing. Don't be afraid. Before union, life always checks to see if you're truly ready to receive what you asked for so deeply. You probably started to feel like surrender makes more sense now. It's no longer about fighting the current, but letting it carry you. That surrender to the unknown is one of the deepest signs that you're about to cross the threshold between before and after. There's a kind of wisdom only those who've been through the separation can understand. And now you carry it like an invisible scar, not something that weakens you, but something that makes you stronger. That quiet strength is the mark of someone who's ready for what's coming. If you look closely, you'll see your fears are transforming. The fear of losing is giving way to the courage to let go. And that shift is so powerful that, once it happens, it speeds up the end of the distance even more. Your energy has changed. Maybe you haven't noticed, but the people around you have. There's something different in your eyes, in your presence. Like you're standing at the edge of something huge, even if you don't know what it is. And you are closer than you think. His silence, which used to hurt you, now feels like something necessary. Like, without saying a word, he's allowing you to become who you needed to be before your paths cross again. There are signs that don't need words or proof. They're gut feelings, intuitive flashes, chills on your skin, and you know they're more present than ever. Ignoring them would be like denying your own breath. Have you asked yourself why now? Why now these sensations are getting stronger? Why the dreams are more vivid, the signs clearer, the encounters more meaningful? Because the cycle is closing and the next one is already forming on the horizon. Maybe you feel like you're living on a threshold, a subtle border between what was and what's about to be. And that's exactly it. The separation is dissolving, and with it, the old versions of you both are fading away to make space for the new. But there's still one step left, one last move that needs to happen before the reunion fully manifests. You can feel it, even if you don't know exactly what it is. And it's right here, in this exact moment of uncertainty, that everything can change forever. And maybe without realizing it, you've started saying goodbye to old beliefs. The things that once held you back now don't carry the same weight. It's like you're being emptied so you can be filled with something completely new, something that's already on its way. The days might feel quietly intense now. Like every little thing that happens carries a hidden message. Pieces of the puzzle only you can put together. And even without all the answers, you feel it. You're so close. There's a restlessness that's with you, a sense that something's about to happen, even if you can't say what. That's the prelude to the reunion, when your soul can feel destiny's touch before it ever shows up in the physical world. Have you noticed that coincidences have been happening more often? Repeated words, songs that just start playing out of nowhere, numbers showing up in sequence. None of it is random. There's subtle signs that the veil between you two is getting thinner. And when you least expect it, a memory hits you out of nowhere, a moment, a look, a gesture of his that seemed forgotten and suddenly comes back crystal clear. It's not nostalgia. It's a soul touching yours, silently saying, I'm closer than you think. The nights may have gotten longer, not in hours, but in the weight of your thoughts. You find yourself replaying scenes, retracing paths, trying to make sense of it all. But deep down, you know some things are meant to be understood, only lived. The universe is teaching you to trust the unseen, to realize that not everything has to be said or explained, because there are bonds that are formed beyond words. And this one between you two is one of the strongest there is. And even when you try to distract yourself, try to move on, he still pops into your mind at the most random times. Like it's impossible to ignore his presence, like somehow he's silently calling out to you. Have you noticed that some of your recent decisions weren't based on logic, but on a gut feeling so strong you couldn't ignore it? And those choices led you to places, people, situations that, looking back now, feel like part of a bigger plan. The fear of being wrong may have tried to hold you back, but at the same time, there's a courage in you now that you didn't have before. Like you're finally ready to cross this bridge, even without guarantees, just a quiet trust in your heart. And maybe you start to see that real love isn't about possession or always being around, but about connection and surrender. And it's exactly when you understand this that the universe begins to move and brings back what time and distance had pulled apart. If you close your eyes right now and take a deep breath, you'll feel it. There's a presence around you, a familiar, comforting energy, like he's closer than ever. Even if you can't see him yet, your soul knows. He's coming. The blocks that once stood in the way are dissolving, one by one, quietly, like invisible walls crumbling without a sound, clearing the path for what was always meant to be, but had to wait for the right moment to unfold. And you, without even realizing it, are more ready than ever. Not the same person you were at the start, not the one who began this journey, but a stronger version of yourself, more intuitive, more aligned with who you truly are. And that's exactly who he needs to meet. Destiny is now breathing beside you. It's not rushing, not forcing anything, but walking slowly in your direction, like it knows there's no escaping what was written long before this lifetime. And you feel it. There's no turning back now. If you really pay attention, you'll see that even the absences in your life have started to make sense. People who drifted away, things that didn't work out, all of it made space for something bigger to come in. And now, that space is almost completely open. That nervous flutter you sometimes feel for no reason, that's your body reacting to his closeness. The soul recognizes it first, then the body responds. And in that quiet rhythm, everything is aligning, getting ready for the inevitable moment. Maybe lately you felt a strange urge to change your look, reorganize your home, start something new. These shifts are your soul adjusting, without even knowing it, to make room for something that's about to change everything. Even if fear keeps whispering that it might not work out, that it could all be an illusion, something and you just doesn't believe that anymore. Because deep down, you know, with a kind of certainty that can't be explained, that you're about to experience the reunion you've been waiting for. And now you take a deep breath and realize you're right at the edge, at the final threshold of this long journey. The next step is right there in front of you, so close, so inevitable, but still hidden, waiting for the exact moment to be revealed. And even when you try to deny it, when you swear you're over it, he comes back like a whisper through time, an echo showing up where you least expect it. There's no guarding against it. No wall can block this quiet approach. You notice time seems to stand still when you think about him, like the clock is stuck in the same eternity that holds the two of you. And that frozen time is a sign of something being carefully woven by the invisible hands of fate. Your dreams, which used to be just random fragments, are now turning into messages that both shake and comfort you. He shows up, sometimes as a shadow, sometimes in vivid detail that you recognize instantly, like it's preparing you for what's coming. And there are moments so quiet, so deep, when you just want to run from this calling you don't understand but can't ignore. Like running is the only way not to give in to the pull he has on you, even from afar. But then comes that moment, that sudden chill, that impossible coincidence. And you realize that no matter how hard you try, there's no running from this connection. It's not just happening in the physical world. It's unfolding constantly inside you. Your soul is unfolding, making room, healing old wounds to let this bond fully take shape. It's not a comfortable process, I know, but it's necessary. And deep down, you know it too. On certain days, you feel like everything you've lived up until now, all the pain, all the meetings, all the misconnections, were just preparation. Pale rehearsals for what is now about to become irreversible. And it's at this moment that you realize there's no one you can share this feeling with. Because even if you spoke, no one would understand. It's a secret seal between the two of you and the universe. And no one else. You may have noticed subtle changes in your behavior, a sharper intuition, a clearer perception of other people's intentions, like you're becoming more sensitive to the energies around you. This too is part of the approach. Life's mirrors have started showing you versions of yourself you didn't even know you carried. You've been confronting hidden parts of yourself, fears and shadows, but it's exactly this that allows the bond between you two to bloom to its fullest potential. And even when you think there are no more signs, the universe insists on reminding you an unexpected message, a random encounter, a stray phrase that seems to have been said directly to you. Nothing is random, even though sometimes you wish it were. There's a dark beauty in this waiting, like the night before dawn, tense, dense, but full of promise. You feel it, even without admitting it, that the end of this journey is near and that he's already on the other side, reaching out his hand. Every step you take now is no longer a solitary one. Even in absence, he walks with you, not as a physical presence, but as an invisible force that supports you when you think you're going to fall apart. You've noticed this, even if you're afraid to admit it. And when fear tries to take over, remember, it's just the last resistance before total surrender. Fear is not a sign that you're wrong. It's simply the mark that you're crossing the threshold, the point of no return, where you'll finally find what you've been searching for. The winds have changed, you can feel it. Even the air feels different, thicker, more charged with meaning. These aren't just impressions, they're omens. The universe is conspiring, drawing the final contours of a story that started long before you ever realized. And the more you try to rationalize, the less you can pull away. Because this is a call that doesn't answer to logic. It answers only to the soul. And your soul decided long before you try to understand that this is the path you'll follow to the end. Have you noticed how your sensitivity is at its peak? Like the boundaries between you and the world are more fragile. Like you can feel his presence even from afar, even in the silence. This isn't your imagination, it's real connection. The words he didn't say, the messages he didn't send, all of that is being communicated in a different way. Subtler, deeper. And you, without realizing it, have been listening. You've been feeling. You've been responding, even without words. Now, more than ever, all you have left to do is trust. Trust the unseen, the unspeakable, what can only be felt with the skin of your soul. Because the moment is drawing near, and when it arrives, there will be no warning, no preparation, only the inevitable dive. And it's right here, at this exact point you're at now, on the edge of the abyss, with your heart racing and your hands trembling, that anything can happen. Or, better yet, that everything will happen. And now that you've heard this far, you know nothing was by chance. This message found you because it was the right moment. If, in any way, something in your heart has been touched, confirm receipt by writing, "I feel the connection." That way, I'll know you've been with me on this invisible journey. Join us, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Here, you will never be alone. We are a silent but powerful community, sharing the same signs, the same sensations, the same hidden stories. And believe me, the next messages could change everything.